Bus companies are not legally obliged to force passengers to make way for someone in a wheelchair, even in a disabled bay. The ruling from the Court of Appeal came after the bus company First Group was sued by a disabled passenger who'd been unable to board a bus because a woman refused to move her pushchair. Our Disability Affairs correspondent Nikki Fox reports.
Catching a bus is something many take for granted. But when you're disabled, it can get a whole lot trickier. Back in 2012, Doug Pawley unsuccessfully attempted to board a bus to Leeds. He was told that he couldn't get on because the space was taken by a mother and her pushchair, and she refused to move. Last year, Doug successfully sued the operator First Group. First Group then took the case to the Court of Appeal. Today saw the bus company win.
I think that, frankly, they got it wrong. We couldn't have both got on the bus that I was on. There was no separate space. There was only a wheelchair space. We want the right result, which was that I was discriminated against, and we need to get that changed for disabled people in general.
Drivers will now have to do everything in their power, short of forcing somebody off the bus, to make sure that disabled passengers can travel. But the court says that it's down to wheelchair users to lobby Parliament for new legislation that will give disabled passengers priority every time.
This verdict gives much needed clarity to our passengers, to our drivers and to the industry as to the priority use of this wheelchair space. As we currently do, we will continue to use the strongest polite terms to ask somebody to move away if a wheelchair user wishes to have access.
But will this be enough to persuade other users of the space to move?
I'd fold the buggy up and move the buggy. I mean, obviously it's easier to not do that, but if somebody needed the space, I would move, yeah.
People helping people out, and there's surely someone on the bus can say, well, hello, kid, while you move your pushchair. This is just a bit about community spirit, and I think if you haven't got that, you've got nothing. Simple as that.
While the majority are happy to make space for disabled passengers, there are times, like in Doug's case, when clarification is needed. He doesn't want catching a bus to be a risky business and is now taking his campaign to the Supreme Court. Nikki Fox, BBC News.
In the Philippines.